Breastfeeding is baby-led. That means there's no set schedule. Just feed your baby when he's hungry, day or night. In the early weeks, that should be at least 8 to 12 feedings in each 24-hour period, including nighttime. It's natural that your newborn needs to eat often in the beginning.
My baby was like waking up every hour, so I was like, what is wrong with my baby? Maybe she's not getting enough milk. Maybe I don't have milk. I'm not producing milk. So I called my nurse and she told me that it was completely fine. And again, it was, for comfort as well.
Your newborn eats often because the size of his stomach can only hold very small amounts of milk at each feeding. On day 1, his stomach can only hold as much milk as would fill a shooter marble. By day 3, his stomach can hold as much as would fill a ping pong ball. By day 10, his stomach can hold as much as would fill a large egg. As babies grow, they are able to take in more at each feeding. You can tell it's time to feed your baby by watching for signs that she's hungry. An early sign of hunger is fidgeting. She's probably going to be ready for her next meal soon. As your baby gets hungrier, you'll see other signs of hunger. You might see her make a sucking motion with her tongue and mouth. Open her mouth when it's touched. Bring her hand to her mouth. Or move her legs like she's crawling. You may see her rooting reflex when she turns her mouth toward your chest, looking for a breast. A hungry baby will cry as a last resort. It can be hard for a crying baby to latch, so feed your baby when you see her early signs of hunger. You can also pay attention to your own body to know when it's time to feed your baby. When your breasts feel full, it's probably time to nurse. Once you are comfortable and your baby has a good latch, feed her for as long as she is actively sucking. When she releases the breast or her sucking slows down, try to burp her. Breastfed babies don't always need to burp, especially in the first few days. Then, offer her the second breast. She may take it if she's still hungry. At the next feeding, switch the side that you start on to make sure each breast is getting the same amount of stimulation. In the first weeks, feeding your baby on both breasts and burping her usually takes around 30 to 45 minutes, but can vary. Breastfeeding goes faster as she gets better at it. It is normal for babies to sleep a lot during the first 2 or 3 days of life. But if your baby is not feeding at least 8 times in 24 hours, you'll need to wake her up to eat. Help her wake up by holding her skin to skin, changing her diaper, trying a different feeding position, or switching breasts. Remember, your milk supply depends on how often and how well your baby breastfeeds. It's also normal for a baby to cluster feed.
Wow, she's really feeding a lot, huh?
This is when she eats less often at one time of day, and then more often at another, usually evenings. Cluster feedings are healthy as long as she's eating at least 8 times in 24 hours.